welcome back to another Easy Odds Premier League video cast. Now, I'm wearing my gym top today because, do you know why? I forgot to bring a change of clothes
You're wearing
when I went to the gym this morning. So, yeah, I was going to wear an insane coat, but then I thought you guys would absolutely hate that. So, I've gone with the old gym top, which is a bit weird, but, you know, we'll carry on. Now, big thank you is in order because we've got 1,000 followers, 1,000 subscribers even on YouTube, which is you know, to some people it's not a lot, but to us it's a big milestone.
Absolutely.
So what Ross is going to be doing from now until the end of the season is trying to do one of these £10 to £1,000 challenges. And today he's going to spread his £10 across 2 matches, and obviously we'll add it up each week to see how much we get by the end of the season. So hopefully we'll have a nice little profit by the end of the season for you with this nice little challenge. But yeah, let's get started from the first game. It is Tottenham versus Watford, a London derby. Obviously Tottenham are in a decent form at the moment, came back from the dead
Absolutely, yeah.
in midweek. But who are you tipping for this, or what are you betting on?
Yep, it's a huge game at the top of the table. Watford are pretty much safe now after that win against West Brom. Tottenham, though, still pushing Chelsea, and they've got the early game, which means that if they win this match, they're going to put even more pressure on Chelsea, who have got the late Saturday evening game. Tottenham still have plenty of reasons to win this game, though, because they've actually not lost any of the last 10 matches against Watford. Incredible record. You have to go back as far as 1994, when Lee Nogan scored a double in a 3-2 win at White Hart Lane. Lee Nogan scored for Watford. Jürgen Klinsmann scored for Tottenham. Which one of those players went on to better things? If you're out there, Lee Nogan. Hello.
Sorry. You're out there, sorry.
Tottenham, though, they've been missing Harry Kane recently, of course, through injury, but they haven't seemed to have missed him at all. And their defence is arguably even better than their attack at times. Lloris, Alderweireld, Vertonghen, Walker, Rose, really good backline for them as well. So Tottenham to win to nil without letting in a goal here, 21-20, just a shy better than even money, decent price there. And they won this match last season 1-0, so that would have been a winning bet for this selection as well. So yeah. Tottenham to win to nil, 21-20 in the early game in the Premier League.
Good. Next up is Man City versus Hull. Man City are obviously strong favourites here, but what are you backing?
Yeah, I'm massively surprised by this market here. It's the under-over market, and 2-1 is available on under 2.5 goals.
Interesting. People
are going to be expecting an absolute goal fest here because it's Man City against Hull, but I really like the look of under 2.5 goals at 2-1. I think that's a really good price. Yes, Man City have scored 12 times against Hull in the last 4 meetings, but 3 of the last 4 matches between these sides at the Etihad have all gone under 2.5 goals. Man City have drawn their last 2 games at home, 0-0 and 1-1. So backing under 2.5 goals looks a massive price of 2-1 when you consider that Hull have gone unders away at Man United, away at Arsenal. They're not a terrible side. Granted, all their points come at home, but they'll try and park the bus, and they're capable of doing so and stopping Man City from scoring 3 goals. So I think under 2.5 goals here at 2-1 is a really good price.
Okay. Next up, a relegation battle of sorts. I actually saw someone, a football pundit, I won't say who, but who had Burnley in his bottom 3 at the end of the season. What do you think? And also, who's going to win this game?
I think Burnley will survive just based upon their home form.
Yeah.
At Turf Moor, they pick up all their points. They've only won 3 points away from home, and they're not in the relegation zone. That shows how good their form is at home. But away from home, not so good. And for that reason, I'm pretty mad here, but I'm going to be backing Middlesbrough to win a match. Middlesbrough have been absolutely awful recently, but they have won 4 matches at home in the Premier League already this season, and Burnley, as I said, have only won 3 points on the road. All 3 of those games coming from draws. I think that this is a must-win game for Middlesbrough in their relegation battle. They're looking more and more likely to go down this season. And this match, they must have earmarked this match as the must-win game.
Yeah.
It's going to be a packed house at the Riverside. Hopefully those Borough fans can get behind the team. They scored 2 goals against Hull in midweek, and scoring goals has been a massive problem for them this season. So the fact that they scored 2 in that game is a big plus. And simply put, Burnley are rubbish away from home. So backing Middlesbrough Granted, it is a short price because Middlesbrough aren't very good at home, but they have won 4 times at home this season in the Premier League, so they can do it. 3-2 isn't a best price, but I think it's the likely result, as it's simply a must win for Middlesbrough.
Okay, interesting. I like your thoughts there. But next up is Stoke versus Liverpool. There should be a few goals from Liverpool here, although Mane is out for the season. Just read
Mane's
earlier
out,
today, which is a massive loss. Obviously.
Lallana's out. Sturridge is, don't know, living in his car somewhere for the past few months. I'm not sure what he's up to, but he isn't playing football.
No.
But however, they are playing up against a Stoke team that have lost their last 3 matches and failed to even score a goal in any of those. So even with the injury list at Liverpool, the likes of Divock Origi will come in. He's looking really, really good. He's a sort of player that would relish playing away at Stoke as well. A big, strong forward. He'll quite fancy the battle up against the likes of Shawcross at the back there. And I do think that they're going to win this game. 19-20 is available. If all their players were fit, Liverpool, they'd be closer to maybe like 3-4.
Yeah.
So 19-20 is a bit of a gift from the bookies based upon the injury list at the moment at Liverpool, and of course they dropped points at home against Bournemouth. But that was purely out of panic, out of going 5 at the back at home against Bournemouth, something that they didn't really need to do. They invited pressure on them. Hopefully Klopp's learnt from that. And against a Stoke side that just can't score a goal at the moment, I can only see a Liverpool win.
Okay, interesting. And I feel like this could be where you place your first £5 bet for the 10,000 thing.
West Brom v Southampton?
No
way.
I thought it was going to be. I was guessing it was going to be the Liverpool game.
No,
Stoke.
No, it's not.
Okay. Well, I misread you. Anyway, next up, West Brom v Southampton. Definitely not that game. That's a minefield.
It is a bit of a minefield, but there's an interesting statistic here in that this match, West Brom v Southampton, the last 4 times that these two teams have played at the Hawthorns, both teams haven't scored. So in the both teams to score market, back no at 10-11, pretty decent price. West Brom have only won 1 of the last 5 games. They've checked out early. Yet again, they managed to pretty much secure survival around the 28 game mark and always seem to check out and stop playing.
To be a West Brom fan,
they're already on the beach. So I'm not entirely sure that they're going to be at it here, but Southampton are really hard to gauge as well. They're in terms of betting, they're one of the hardest teams to gauge in the Premier League, in my opinion. So I think that both teams to score no here is a decent price. Especially as I said, there's that strange stat that's happened each of the last 4 times at the Hawthorns when these two teams have met.
Okay, next up is the West Ham versus Swansea.
And this is my first pick.
This is the £5.
This is the £5. And it's your favourite player of all time.
He is my favourite player. I'm really happy you're doing this, actually.
It's Andy Carroll. He's obviously West Ham's biggest strike threat now that Payet's gone, and he's up against a team that he absolutely loves to play against. They're in a home tie against Swansea, which is a relegation ding-dong. If they don't win this match, they're going to be really pulled into the relegation mire. They've lost 5 matches in a row, but at home with 60,000 fans behind them, they should be able to bring it back and get some points here against Swansea. And Andy Carroll is a huge plus for them. He's scored 4 goals in his last 4 games against Swansea for West Ham. He loves playing against Swansea. He scored in the reverse fixture in the 4-1 win for West Ham earlier in the season. Absolutely rifled in a volley in the last seconds of the game. And I fancy him to score again here at best price of 6-4. I think it's a nice price.
Big Andy Carroll to smash a header in. Absolutely annihilate the net. Next up, Bournemouth versus Chelsea.
Yep, lead leaders Chelsea. They've had a mixed week, of course. They surprisingly lost at home to Crystal Palace, then followed that up by beating Man City. That's classic Premier League fare, that, isn't it? But with Tottenham keeping pressure on Chelsea week in and week out, there's no chance that this Antonio Conte side will take it easy on the South Coast, in my opinion. They're going to take this just as seriously as any other game. Bournemouth play attacking football, whether they're at home or away. They just love to pile forward and try and score a goal. So I fancy a bit of a goal fest here, but I think Chelsea will just about scrape it. And Chelsea to win and both teams to score is a best price of 5-2. Nice price there.
That is a nice
and
price.
They've also only kept 1 clean sheet in 6, so I expect them to concede as well. So 5-2, Chelsea to win and both teams to score.
That's a lovely price. Next up, the return of David Moyes.
Yep, it's the return of David Moyes.
Sunderland versus Manchester United. Now, Man United aren't playing at home, so they might actually be able to win a game.
Absolutely, it's a good point, Jake. I've made that in the piece as well. They're draw specialists at home, but away from home, they've picked up 13 wins in all competitions this season. Really impressive, including that 3-1 win last time out against Middlesbrough, which was glistened by an absolute dream of a goal from Jesse Lingard, and that's the reason why he's worth £100,000 a week.
You see, Gary Neville did a tweet, and he was like, and he was saying, like, someone said did a tweet, and they saying, oh, Jesse Lingard divides opinion or something about his wage and his new contract, and he was like, who's he dividing opinion with? Like he's like it's obvious that he's worth £100,000 a week. Who is saying that Jesse Lingard isn't worth £100,000 a week? I am, for one.
Isn't he a Derby legend?
He was so bad for Derby. When he started starting for United, I just thought this is unreal. And then he scored in the FA Cup final.
Absolutely. Back to the tip, and it's going to be Man United to win and Zlatan Ibrahimovic to score. As I said, Man United have won 13 matches on the road. They're up against a Sunderland team that are just terrible at the moment. They've only won one of the last 15 matches in all competitions, have Sunderland. So you have to assume that Man United are going to be able to win this game. They've, of course, got Zlatan back. He came back with a bang in the last minute strike in midweek from the penalty spot, scored to bring his season tally up to 27. So you have to assume that Zlatan will score and Man United will win. Best price there of 10-11.
Okay, not bad. I mean, if United would do win, which they probably will, Zlatan is almost definitely going to score. So, what's not to like? Next up, Everton versus Leicester. Everton got so unlucky against United, of course, giving away a last-minute penalty. But Leicester have been much better recently, to be fair, as well, on the going into the Champions League.
Yep.
So
they've won, I think it's 5 or 6 matches in a row now since Craig Shakespeare's taken charge. It's been an unbelievable,
great name, great manager,
unbelievable rise for Leicester. A return to the form of last season, but they're going to be hampered here by the fact that on Wednesday night they're going away to Atletico Madrid. So they've got bigger fish to fry here. They're pretty much safe now, I would say, in the Premier League with the kind of form that they're showing. So they don't need to play a full-strength team here. I don't think that they will play a full-strength team here. They have already won at Goodison Park this season in the FA Cup, but I do think that this is probably the banker of the weekend, and it's going to be another one of my £5. 15-19 odds on, but I do think it's a banker. Everton have won their last 5 home league games, and they're playing up against a Leicester team that are just going to have probably 3 eyes on Atletico Madrid on a Sunday, rather than just one. Really is all eggs in one basket. So I really do think that Everton to win is the bank of the weekend at 15-19.
Okay, right. The final game is the mighty Crystal Palace against Arsenal.
Yeah, and I think this is a pretty decent selection as well. I think Arsenal to win the first half at 7-5. Arsenal have got plenty of players back from injury and suspension and can throw their weight around against a lower side, which they absolutely love to do. They are the epitome of a flat track bully. And I reckon that they'll do it yet again at Selhurst Park. The Gunners haven't lost any of the last 14 matches against Crystal Palace. Their last loss came back in 1994 when John Solarco scored against Arsenal. And Ian Wright also scored up against his former side in that match as well for Arsenal, but was on the losing team in the end. However, this time around, I think Arsenal are going to start really fast because they had a really good second half in midweek. They scored 3 goals in the second half against West Ham. They can bring that confidence into the match against Crystal Palace, take the lead in the first half at a nice price of 7-5.
There we have it. All games done, and the £10 is being spread over 2 games for Andy Carroll to score any time at 6-4 versus Swansea, and Everton to beat Leicester at home, where Leicester are likely to side a weaker team at 15-19, which is a bit of a weird price, but
a bit of a weird price.
Right.
Super Lenny.
Super Lenny, they love a weird price, don't they? Anyway, cheers for watching, everyone. Remember to subscribe to our channel. Remember to like this video. Remember to comment about my beautiful gym shirt. I mean, look at it. It looks like a derby top, which is the best. Which is basically what I've
signed by Jesse Lingard.
No, definitely not. But yeah, cheers for watching.